Is Rahab going to be in the kingdom? Absolutely. Okay. Now she may be somebody's concubine, one of the elect brother's concubine. That's about it. But in terms of reaping the benefit of the promises, in terms of immortality and all of that stuff that's under the second covenant, she's not going to reap that. There's no salvation for her.
Yes, there is. Let's go to Hebrews 11. Let's break this down. Now, this is the argument that Hebrew Israelites cannot deal with. So Rahab is mentioned in this list, right? Okay, cool. Now let's just go back up quickly to the top of this chapter, because this is important, right? What does it say here in verse 2? For by faith the elders obtained a good report, right? The good report. And then he starts giving you examples: Abel, Enoch, Noah, Abraham, Moses, etc. And then one of the people he mentions is Rahab, right? Verse 30, verse 31. After Rahab, notice what it says. And this is what's so powerful. Rahab is the last person. And then it says, and what more shall we say? We don't have any more time to talk about all these people, right? But Rahab was the last person who gave us that example. It's like God is saying, look, I know what's going to happen 2,000 years from now. And I'm going to leave this here as just icing on the cake. Rahab. Okay, cool. All these different examples, Gideon and all these different people. Now notice what it says. They subdued kingdoms. They escaped the edge of the sword. They did all of this different stuff. And then what does it say? Of whom the world was not worthy. So all these people we've mentioned, the world was not worthy of these people. Rahab is included in that list. They wandered in deserts and mountains and dens and caves of the earth. And notice what it says. And these all, how many? These all, who are the all? All includes everybody that's just mentioned previously. Rahab included. Having obtained a good report. What did it say previously? For by faith the elders have received a good report. And these all, having received a good report through faith, Rahab included, received not the promise. What is this promise here, right here? What is this promise? That all these people above didn't receive at this point yet, including Rahab, the Gentile, the harlot. Why? Why didn't they receive the promise? God, having provided some better thing for us. Who is the us? The people that were reading this and everybody who's a believer since that time, that they, who are the they? All these people that we just mentioned above, Rahab included, who has a good report, without us should not be made what? Perfect. The reason these individuals did not receive the promise was because God had a better plan. That without us, these individuals, all these people I've just mentioned in this famous glorious passage, these elders that received a good report, without us, they should not be made perfect. What is the promise? And what is the perfection he's speaking about right here? But it gets better. We know chapters were added later, right? So this is flowing. What does it say right after this? What does the next verse say? Wherefore? What does wherefore mean? Because of this. So because of what I've just shown you before, with all these different individuals who receive not the promise, without us, what does he say? Seeing we are also compassed about, we're surrounded with a great cloud of witnesses. Who is that great cloud of witnesses, including Rahab the harlot, the Gentile? Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us. These sins that are fighting against, that we're struggling with, let us lay it all aside and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Doing what? Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. What is this saying? You hold on and keep the faith. Like all those individuals I just told you about, Rahab included, who kept the faith. The reason they are not perfected and received the promise yet, because God wanted us to receive the promise and perfection with them. This is the argument that destroys any Hebrew Israelite who believes that salvation was not given to Rahab, because that's what the passage actually says. when you look at Joshua chapter 2 and Joshua chapter 6, and you link that with James chapter 2 and Hebrews 11, and you follow from 30 to 31 and follow it down, she is part of that group of people, that group of individuals who receive the promise and receive perfection, along with everybody else. And they cannot deal with that argument. They cannot deal with it faithfully. So they either have to say she was an Israelite, or to say that this isn't scripture, or say any other sort of nonsense to deal with this argument, because they can't deal with it. This is the argument.